Hey y'all, my name is Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. How silly and goofy of me would it be to just pop back into BookTube 7 years later as if I'd never left? Would that just be absolutely insane? Because that is what I'm doing. I've been gone for a long time and a lot has changed because I am married and my daughter is about to be 1.5 years old. Mostly the reason that I fell off of BookTube in the first place was because life just got crazy and I stopped reading, so there was nothing to make videos about, and so then it just snowballed into never making content. But here I am because I have a July wrap up for you. So finally, we're back in business, baby. I read 10 books in the month of July. A lot of them were really good. Trying to get back into reading, I found myself looking to BookTok on TikTok and taking some recommendations from there. They did lead me astray on a few things, but partly it was my own fault. We have kind of a good range of genre on this list today, so let's just jump right in and get to it. The first book that I read in the month of July was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I give this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I will make a small note. As I was writing my notes for this video, I realized that this book is actually number 3 in a series. I guess they're standalone and they're only semi-connected, but I definitely should have. This book is told in a dual POV from our two love interests who both share a similar curse, which is that whoever they've dated last goes on to find their soulmate, they get married, they live happily ever after, but they themselves cannot find this happily ever after. Our main characters are a travel nurse with mommy issues and a big brother of 4 children, also with a different variety of mommy issues. They meet through a Reddit thread where they realize that they share this mysterious curse, and they decide to make a deal to essentially date each other and then break up so that they can find their soulmate, happy ever after, etc., etc. And of course, they fall in love. Who could have seen that coming? This book was very cute. I liked the family dynamics. I felt like the romance built up well. It wasn't too much of insta-love. I felt like it was pretty realistic, especially with all of the family issues that it addressed. I enjoyed it. It just didn't really stand out to me as something I would reread or that I love, shout it from the rooftops. But it was definitely a great summer read. The next book that I read this month was Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. This novel takes place in the 1980s in a small Irish town. It follows our main character, Bill, who makes a discovery that kind of brings up his past as well as kind of puts him at odds with the church in his town, which kind of rules over their town essentially. The prose in this novel is so good. It's so beautiful. It's very short. I guess it's technically a novella. I loved the subject matter. It was very different. I've never read anything like that before. I guess it is historical fiction, but it's based on real things that did happen. I really enjoyed this and would really love to read more from this author in the future. I rated this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. The only reason that it wasn't a 5-star read for me was honestly just that I wished it was longer. I would have liked to see some more expansion. I would have read a full-length novel about this because it was super fascinating to me. I was seeing lots of recommendations for our next book, which is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. I rated this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Essentially, this book follows our two main characters, Sloane and Rowan, who are both vigilante killers in their own right, but when they have an unlikely meetup at the beginning of the book, they strike an even more unlikely bond. They basically spawn a competition with one another that takes place once a year. And so it kind of follows the span of their relationship and kind of how their friendship develops, and then it turns into a little something more, a little something spicy. The book has a lot of things going on, and some of it just is weird to me. This is another dual point of view, which I just apparently could not escape this month, and it made me realize that I actually hate dual point of view, but we'll get more into that later. I just don't think that vigilante shit Taylor Swift mentioned is gonna be for me in the future, because I just wasn't super vibing with it. And again, I mean, the romance was fine. At least it wasn't super insta-love because it does take place over the course of many years and you see kind of the development of their relationship. Next up, we have Lights Out by Navessa Allen. I also rated this a 3 out of 5 stars. And I'll tell you that Lights Out and Butcher and Blackbird, to me, and I don't know if this is gonna make any sense, but I'm gonna try to make it make sense. To me, they are the same book. Which, I know that that's not accurate because there's a lot of aspects of them that are different. But our main character is a nurse who is obsessed with a masked fella on TikTok making thirst traps, which that description alone should have told me it probably wasn't going to be for me, because that just screams cheesiness. And it was cheesy. A drunk text connects the two of them, and they are making her dreams a reality, that little psycho girl. But then she actually catches the attention of someone truly dangerous, and we have to see if her masked man can also become her protector in a way. It was fast-paced. The writing was fine. It just reminded me a lot of Butcher and Blackbird. Am I gonna piss BookTok off by making this video?
They're not bad books. I'm not saying that I dislike them. I'm just saying that they weren't everything to me. I was not obsessed.
The next book that I read in July was This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. I rated this book a 4 out of 5 stars. This follows our main character, Miller, who agrees to have a winter weekend getaway with her estranged mother, Sylvie. This is a really great psychological horror that focuses on mother-daughter relationships and familial trauma. I really enjoyed it. It was a shorter book, very fast-paced. You get to the heart of it very quickly. It's very reminiscent of Misery by Stephen King, so if you're into that, like, being trapped in a place with someone you don't want to be trapped with and having to like talk it out and face each other, essentially, you're gonna love this. I read Priest by Sierra Simone. I rated this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Because again, not bad. Just, I do like the spice, but I need more than what some of these spicy books were giving me. Priest follows Father Tyler Bell, who joined the church after the rather traumatic death of his sister, and he has never regretted that decision. He's very devout in his faith. You see that very much throughout the whole novel. But then he meets a girl named Poppy, and he starts to wonder if maybe there's more to it and to his life than just being in the church. It's mostly sex. The miscommunication trope in this novel just pissed me off there at the end. To me, this could have been a novella, and it would have been better as a novella.
Oh, I love God, but I want to fuck this girl. I keep fucking this girl, but I want to love God. Like, it's okay.
It was hot. And the writing style I did enjoy. It was just like, give me more. I rated Priest 3.5 out of 5 stars. Finally, on to some better shit. Next book that I read in the month of July was Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. Another recommendation from BookTok, and you know what? For this, I say, thank you, Jesus, because I really enjoyed this novel. I rated Nestlings 4.5 out of 5 stars. I kind of keep going back and forth between 4.5 and just straight up 5 because I did love this book. The ending that has me teetering on the 0.5 to 5 star rating, and I'm not sure, I feel like it might change with time. For all intents and purposes, it might as well be a 5 because I loved this book. This is like Rosemary's Baby meets Salem's Lot. We follow our main characters, Reed and Anna, who have just won essentially the apartment lottery in this beautiful building in New York City. They move in and they're very excited about the move, but they're also dealing with a lot. They have some relationship strains. Anna is still somewhat paralyzed from the traumatic birth of their daughter, who is still a very young baby, and they are kind of suffering through that. It's affecting their relationship, and she has some resentment towards both her husband and the baby herself. I felt that this paired the emotional journey of motherhood and the loss of your self-identity for both parents, and also just general horror very well. I enjoyed this immensely, and I will definitely be looking out for more novels by Nat Cassidy. I think he has at least one more out, so I might try to track that down in August. The next book that I read in the month of July was The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starling. I rated this book a 5 out of 5 because I loved it. This novel is everything to me. If you like unusual magic elements paired with the works of, say, Jane Eyre or Wuthering Heights, this shit is for you. This is about our main character, Jane Shoringfield, who loves math and does not love people so much. She was an orphan raised by this very generous family, but she does feel that she needs to get out of the house, especially in the time era that it's set in. So she feels this pressure to leave. She doesn't want to be a burden on her parents. So she does a bunch of research on all the eligible men in town, and she decides that the local doctor is her best option. And so she basically proposes a loveless marriage, just a business contract between them essentially, to both take them off the market and get everyone off their back, but also they don't have to love each other, they don't have to hang out. Except the more that she gets to know him, the more weird stuff starts to happen. And she's forbidden to go to his house for some reason. What could that be about? I thought the writing style was great. I thought the main character was super distinct and interesting. It was gothic, it was creepy, it had magic elements. It was We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kleiwer. I'm butchering the last name. 5 out of 5. This story is told with a multimedia aspect to it, which I really enjoy in novels. A queer couple moves into this old ass house in the middle of nowhere because they flip houses. That's kind of their thing. But they're kind of put into debt by buying this house, so it's going to be quite a project for them. It's going to take them a long time. But almost immediately, our main character notices some weird stuff happening at the house. Her partner goes into town one day to take care of some work stuff, and a family shows up at their doorstep saying that the father used to live in that house when he was a kid, and he would just love to come inside and show his family around for a quick 15 minutes at most. And then she can't get rid of them. That premise does summarize the beginning of the story arc, but there's so much more to it, and I thought that it was fascinating. I love having an unreliable narrator where you're not sure if she's going crazy or if these things are really happening or not. Love that. The last book that I read in the month of July was The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I'm struggling on these names. I rated this a 3 out of 5 stars. This follows our main character, Meredith Fox, who goes to Martha's Vineyard every summer, and her family has this huge property out there with multiple houses and boats and all sorts of rich people shit. This year is particularly special because her cousin Sarah is getting married, boop, boop, boop. But it's also especially a struggle for our main character Meredith because her sister has tragically passed away, and this is her first time going back this summer to kind of revisit old memories, and it's just kind of a fresh wound still for her. She is determined to win their tournament of assassin, which is also a tradition on the island, and that her sister Claire was the absolute champion. And so she decides that for her sister, she really wants to win this year. She is not expecting to catch the eye of the groom's stepbrother, who is a super cute, and also her competition. If you like the vibe of the Summer I Turned Pretty series, in that everyone is rich and they're on this island and, you know, there's family elements of it, you will love this. The romance was giving insta love because the whole novel takes place over the course of a week that they're on the island, and like day one, she's like heart eyes motherfucker for this guy. It was cute nonetheless, and I would recommend it. Overall, we had a mixture of genres, some better than others this month. I was very happy to read 10 books. I thought that that was pretty good. I'm getting back into my groove. The next video I'll be uploading will be my August TBR, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, if you're here and you're watching, thank you so much for either still supporting me after 7 years of ghosting you or coming and discovering me now. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, bye.